National Grid wants to upgrade its infrastructure and how it delivers electricity and natural gas to your home or business. They had just submitted a proposal to the state's Public Service Commission to make its customers help to pay for at least some of it. If approved, these increases would start in 2025 and could cost the average residential customer more than $450 in additional costs tacked onto your gas and electric bills over the course of the year. So that's if you have both utilities.
To tell us more about the proposal, right now we're joined by David Bertola, a spokesperson for National Grid. Dave, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So first, let's just start this off. Define reset. What does that mean in terms of this proposal?
Okay, so yesterday we filed what's called a rate case with New York Public Service Commission. And what rate cases do is it allows a utility to set a price on its commodity and its delivery over the course of a year. And so what we did, yesterday's day one, and it's an 11-month process. And we're hopeful that by the end of the 11 months, the rates that we are proposing could be stretched out over a 3 or 4 year period so as to minimize the impact on our customers. And we didn't arrive at it's about a $19 increase for Western New York National Grid electricity customers. And like in 2021, we filed a rate case. And by the time it got finished, it was a 3-year agreement that stretched out 36 months or so. And that got us to where we are today, 2024. It's time to do it again. And so here we are.
We should point out, we were talking during the break that for the most part, and really for pretty much all of Western New York, the only thing you deal with National Grid, if that is your electric provider, National Fuel is not National Grid. That is something that people need to be aware of. So for the most part, this affects the average electrical customer with National Grid in Western New York. Those are the most people who would be affected. So before we get into that $19 increase and what it is going to be paying for over the course of a month, let's talk about the infrastructure and delivery system that is currently facing customers across this region. We're talking about an infrastructure that is decades and decades old. It's going to take a lot of money to be able to update it for the future.
That's right.
And it's badly in need of updating, right?
Well, our infrastructure has served us well for the last 70 years or more. Now, as we add things like electric buses, electric cars, there's heat pumps that are going to be electrifying homes, and New York State has set standards as well for clean energy. They want 70% of electricity to be used by 2030 to come from clean energy sources. So we need our system, which again has served us well. Now we need to be able to accommodate more clean energy sources being loaded onto the grid. We need to prepare for more cars being charged along the thruway and whatnot. You guys had a nice story this morning about electric buses and a larger grant that was provided to support initiatives across the state and locally. So if all that's to happen, we need to bolster the grid. That work began before even our rate case. We've bolstered. We built a substation at Gardenville in West Seneca. We've been doing work in Buffalo, Dunkirk, Niagara Falls. This is an extension of that. This work's going to continue as we prepare for the next generation of electricity use and how our customers have become to rely on us for the security that we provide. We need to continue to do that at a different scale.
Dave, you had mentioned that yesterday was day one of what will be an 11-month process with the PSC. For those who don't know, walk us through kind of how this process will work. What will happen within these 11 months?
So before yesterday, we had sat down and had meetings with our customers, our communities, those who advocate for our more vulnerable customers, and where we landed was at $19 a month number. Now that's going to provide sticker shock for some people, but there's provisions within the rate case that have new programs for the underserved, programs that you could call and say, well, I need some help paying my bill. We already have those in place, but might we need to bolster that? Perhaps. We're looking at hiring 800 people within the next 4 years. That's all in the rate case. Over the next 11 months, there'll be the opportunity for public statement hearings. It's a totally transparent process. So late summer, early fall, potentially, residents, others will have the opportunity across all of Western New York, across all of our service territory in upstate New York, to have their voices heard as to, why this may not work for them or what they like about it. And we'll take that into consideration before the PSC makes its decision.
So there is an opportunity for people to weigh in if they so choose, and they've got several months in order to do that. And of course, there's a lot of information on the state's website and how to do that. So we're looking at about the average electrical customer in Western New York, an additional $19 or let's say $20 per month, so about $240 additional per year. But National Grid is also going to be paying for this. I believe the estimate was $1.3 billion, 1.37, something like that?
1.7 billion
1.7.
to support the electricity.
So there is some investment from the company that is going to be matched with that customer.
Well, that's what we're looking for from the rate case, yes.
Gotcha. When is the expectation for when we will find out after that 11 months? PSC typically issues a public notice, right?
That's correct.
Gotcha.
They'll have their press release. They'll announce it, and then we will piggyback off of that typically. But the discussions will begin in earnest, and the work ahead of us as well will hopefully be able to be supported by the whatever gets decided between now and next spring.
Well, certainly a story we will be following. Dave Bertola, spokesperson for National Grid. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.